Hey guys, what's up? TGS here. Today, a weapon tier list, where I will rank weapons based on how good they are in terms of pull value. Goes without saying that this will be very math-based, because numbers can explain how good weapons are. So, for this 5-star weapon tier list, I've chosen these tiers, and the last one is the bra tier, which consists of all the weapons that we'd never like to see on a weapon banner.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Average 4 stars and again 4 stars are those tiers for the 5-star weapons that are good, decent, but are more comparable to the strong 4-star weapons than to the very good 5 stars. Then, solid signature for weapons that may not be amazing, but they work very well for the unit they're designed for, and so they go there. Then, great versatile pull is the tier for those weapons that may or may not be incredible picks for the unit they're designed for, but in general, they're very good weapons that go well on a lot of units, so they're good value pulls. The amazing signature plus versatility is the tier for those weapons that are incredible pulls for the unit they're designed for because they're just much better than the alternatives, and they're also usable on other characters. Lastly, the general god roll tier, for those weapons that are just amazing all around, so weapons that you will always find a great use for on your account. Without further ado, let's start, and let me remind you all to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and my theory crafting. So first, the Amos bow, a weapon I always confuse with Aqua Simulacra because they basically look equal, and this one goes to average 4-star. The reason is that it's only particularly good on Ganyu nowadays, and even then there are better options like Polar Star or Aqua Simulacra. It also works on Line, Tignery, and Yoimiya, but on those characters it's not really better than other 4-star weapons, so it goes to average 4 stars. Next we have Hunter's Path, Tignery's signature, a weapon we'll never see again in banners, sadly. It goes to amazing signature plus versatility tier for me because it's very good on Tignery, and it's a great weapon in general because it has a great secondary stat, it has a passive that mostly applies to charge attack users, but it also has general value thanks to the elemental damage bonus it gives, so it's pretty good. It's good on a lot of characters like Ganyu, it's usable on Line, it's good on Yoimiya even, it's just good on many characters. Next we have the Skyward Harp, probably the best weapon out of all the standard ones. This one goes to great versatile pull. It's a great weapon, kinda in the same vein as the Hunter's Path because it gives a lot of crit value, but the only issue with it is that it has no clear character where it's the best option. It's just a great general pick. Aqua Simulacra.
God roll.
It's just an amazing weapon. It's very good on Yelan, obviously, if you can manage the energy recharge stats, which is very doable on double Hydro teams, so it's good on her, and it's just so good on so many characters because its passive is very versatile. It's just one of the best options on basically all the bow characters, so god roll. Next we have the Thundering Pulse. I want to put this in solid signature because despite it being pretty good in general, because it has a great secondary stat, a good passive for several units, it's just a bit worse than most the other bow options like Aqua, Hunter's Path, or Polar Star. It's mostly just great to Yoimiya, but even then, Rust, Refinement 5 is very competitive with it, and considering how common Rust is, it's a bit penalizing for Thundering Pulse. The Great Magic Trick, Line's signature. I want to put it in amazing signature, because it's very good on Line, it really makes a big difference over the other options, and it's also very good in general because its passive translates pretty well to other characters like Fischl or Ganyu. It's just a bit worse than Aqua in that sense, so I don't want to put this in general god roll, but it's a very good weapon. Next, the Elegy for the End. Technically, Venti's signature. I say technically because practically it's a weapon a lot of characters can use, just as well as Venti can. For example, Yelan can use it in a lot of situations because this weapon gives an energy recharge secondary stat, and its supportive effects are just so versatile and so good. Just not sure where to put it. It can fit the great versatile pull tier because it's not the clear-cut best option for all the situations on a specific character all the time. Yeah, let's put it here. Polar Star. This goes to great versatile pull. The reason is that while it's almost as good as Aqua in terms of general use, So a weapon you can use on a lot of characters and it will do well, although the passive can feel a bit clunky to activate in some situations. It's just not as good as a signature to me. It's just not as good on Child as Aqua is on Yelan, because for Child, it's basically a side grade to Skyward Harp, Thundering Pulse, and Aqua itself, while for Yelan, Aqua is by far the best option if you can manage the energy recharge, so it's just penalized by this. Next we have the Tula, the Wanderer signature. I kinda want to put this here in a high-end 4-star tier. The reason I'm conflicted here is that if you play Fiorina on Wanderer teams, then cash flow just becomes better, so it's not even the clear-cut best option for the character it's designed for. But I guess using Fiorina on Wanderer teams is not mandatory or a given, so The thing with Tula is that it's a good signature in all the other situations, because it's much better than the alternatives in scenarios where you're not using Fiorina. So it's good in solid signature tier, yeah. Floating Dreams, Nahida's signature. Also putting this here, because while it's the best option on Nahida, Nahida is not really a main damage dealer, so in terms of overall impact for the team, it won't really do that much. It also goes well on characters like Yae or Sucrose, but for the latter, since we have so many supportive catalysts in the game, it's not really that great. Yeah, it goes here. Then we have Atlas, and it goes to average 4 stars. It's not really that good on any character, really. So yeah. Next we have the Cash Flow, Brisley's signature. Amazing signature plus versatility tier. It's incredibly good on Brisley, really makes a big difference over all the other alternatives if you have it. It's also incredibly good on characters like a Wanderer, Klee, if you use Fiorina on your team, and you can enable its very stacked passive that gives a normal attack damage bonus and charge attack damage bonus if your character loses HP. Really, it's a weapon that gets enabled by Fiorina beautifully, and since Fiorina is so common on teams, then it gains a lot of value and it becomes very good. Lost Prayer, putting this here, high-end 4-star, it's a standard weapon, but it's better than Atlas for on-fielders like Wanderer, Klee, Brisley, because it just has a better secondary stat that gives crit rate and also a better passive, more translatable passive. Next, the Eternal Flow, Nuvillet signature. This goes to amazing signature to me, because it's by far the best option on Nuvillet, and Nuvillet is arguably the best carry in the game right now, so it has a lot of value for that reason. And while it's not as good as Cash Flow in terms of general use, because Cash Flow's passive is just ridiculous, it's usable on a lot of characters like Klee, Wanderer even, so it's pretty decent. Next, Moonglow, Kokomi signature. I bet most of you expect this to go to the bra tier, because it has been ass for the longest time, but I'm actually putting this here, average 4-star, and the reason is that Kokomi is recently being used as a non-field carry for the triple hydro, double hydro Fiorina teams, so for that role of Kokomi, it has good value. Then Memory of Dust, also putting this in average 4-star. Jadefall. Baiju's signature. This one goes to bra. There is no salvation. There is no salvation for this one. It's bad. Kagura, Yae's signature. Putting this in solid signature, and the reason is that while it's by far the best option on Yae when it comes to damage, Yae is not really a big damage contributor in terms of total team damage on any other teams, really, even the teams where she's played on field, the Quicken teams with Fischl, so it's penalized due to that. It's technically usable on other characters as well, like Wanderer, Klee, but the activation of the passive can really feel clunky in those situations, and if you can't activate the passive consistently, it's not really that good. Beacon of the Red Sea, Deia's signature. Unlike her owner, this 5-star is very good. It goes to great versatile pull. It is obviously the best option for Deia, but it also goes very well on characters like Diluc, Eula, so it's just a pretty good option in general. Skyward Pride, another standard weapon, putting this here, average 4-star. The Verdict, Navia's signature. A weapon I really like aesthetically because it reminds me of Escanor's axe from 7 Deadly Sins, but unfortunately it is not that good. Even on Navia, it is just comparable to Refinement 5 Serpent Spine, and on other characters it is worse than Beacon of the Red Sea or Redhorn, so not that good in general, honestly. Next we have Redhorn, Itto signature. Don't know where to put this. Kinda want to put this in amazing signature tier, but maybe great versatile pull tier is better. The reason is that it's very good on Ito, it's very good on Noelle, it's pretty good on Diluc, Deia, Eula, although now it's worse than Beacon for those characters. I slightly prefer Redhorn to Beacon for the simple reason that it's far more usable on Ito and Noelle, so the defense scaling characters, than Beacon is, so it's probably a bit more versatile, but yeah, same tier is fitting. The Unforged, average 4-star. Broken Pine, Eula's signature, putting this in high-end 4-star tier. The reason is that it's good on Eula, but is now competing with Beacon of the Red Sea, that is basically just as good. And for other characters, since it's clearly a weapon that is geared towards physical characters, it's not really that great, although it is usable, I guess. The Wolf Gravestone, another weapon that is very good looking aesthetically, just like the Verdict, but unfortunately not very good in terms of gameplay. Kinda want to put this in average 4-star, because it's technically not better than Serpent Spine Refinement 5 in most scenarios, but its supportive effects can actually make it unpredictably great in some scienarios. And it's pretty unique as well, so high-end 4-star is probably good. Scarlet Sands, Sino's signature. This one is amazing, man. It's an amazing weapon. It's very good on Sino, it's great on Xiangling, it's great on Hu Tao, it's great on Raiden, especially if you play her on weekend teams, it's great on Rosaria on melt teams, it's just a very good weapon in a lot of situations, probably the best polyarm overall. Skyward Pride, average 4-star. Homa, Hu Tao signature, goes here, amazing signature tier, because it's great on Hu Tao, it's the best option, of course, but since now we have the Scarlet Sands weapon in the game that is better on Xiangling, better on Raiden, it's just not as versatile anymore, but it can be used on a lot of characters for sure. Vortex, Zhongli's signature technically, but not really the best weapon on him. Jade Winged Spear, technically Xiao's signature despite being a standard weapon. Honestly, it's still pretty good because it's arguably still the best option on Xiao, and since Xiao is a pretty good carry now thanks to Farazan, it's a nice option overall. Engulfing Lightning, Raiden's signature. Putting this in great versatile pool. Probably shocked some of you with this. The reason is that as a signature, it's great on Raiden, it's the best option still, but it's not much better than the other alternatives, and one of them being the catch, which is free to play, so it just penalizes Engulfing Lightning in my opinion. And for other characters like Xiangling, Rosaria, we now have Scarlet Sands that is just better, even though Engulfing Lightning providing that much energy recharge does make it a comfort option that is pretty great, but still not good enough to be placed higher in my opinion. Calamity Queller, Shenhe's signature, average 4-star honestly. It is technically the best option on Shenhe because it increases her supportive capabilities, but I feel like most people just use energy recharge options on her like Engulfing Lightning or Favonius. She's just an energy starving character, and on other characters it is just okay really. Ayato's signature, Eren, technically still the best option for him, but since his total damage is not that high for the team, it is not that impactful really as a pull, and for other characters it is solid, but since we have a lot of competition between swords like Mist Splitter or Jade Cutter, it just pales in comparison really. Light of Foliar, Al-Hitam signature, goes to amazing signature tier to me, because it is very good on Al-Hitam, and Al-Hitam is a great carry, so it has a lot of value for just that, but on top of that, it has the highest crit value in the game for a weapon, so it's also pretty good on a lot of other characters. Next, Nilou's signature, Key of Catch Nisut, putting this in God role. And the reason is that, first and foremost, it's incredibly good on Nilou. It's probably the best signature in the game in terms of increasing the damage of the character it's designed for, in this case the team it's designed for, so Bloom teams, and it's also pretty good on Furina, it's great on Kuki and Kirara for defensive reasons, and on top of that it provides support as well, like elemental mastery for the whole team, so it's just a very good weapon if you can enable the passive. Next, Aquila Favonia and Skyward Pride both ending up in high-end 4-star for the same reason, and that being they're great on Bennett, Aquila for the high base attack stat, and Skyward Pride for the combination of high base attack and energy recharge, which comes in handy for Bennett in many situations. Summit Shaper, another shield-based weapon, average 4-star. The Jade Cutter, it goes to General Godrow, because it's a weapon that it's great on every character. It's the best option on all the off-field characters like Shincho, Keiya, if you can manage the energy recharge. It's arguably the second best option for characters like Furina, Hatem, so it's just an amazing weapon for all possible uses. Miss Splitter, Ayaka's signature. It goes here, amazing signature tier, because it is still the best option on Ayaka by a country mile, but it's just not as good as Jade Cutter on basically every other unit, because it's just more inconsistent due to the passive. It can only compete with Jade Cutter on other characters if you can activate all the 3 passive stacks, but that's just not consistent in my opinion. Next, Splendor, Furina's signature. Of course, it's Furina's best option if you can manage the energy recharge, pretty decent option on Alhaitham, but that's it really. Lastly, Freedom's Sworn, Kazuha's signature, a supportive weapon just like Elegy, and for that reason I'm putting this on the same tier. Although it's a bit worse than Elegy to me, because within the Sword niche, you have more competition, because you have Xyphus for Kazuha, for example, so it's just a bit worse relatively. It benefits quite a few teams, like Hudao teams, New Villette teams now, so it's pretty good. It's not only good on Kazuha, of course, but yeah, putting this in great versatile pool. So, there you have it. This is the list. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, and see you next time.